Thanks for joining us for another episode of Love, Marriage, and Everything in Between Countertop Talk. I'm Chef Shan.
I'm Mr. Official, and this is episode 22. Thanks for joining us.
How was your week?
You know that's my part. So, interesting week. I feel like we both got back into the gym the way we want. And you told me you was going to take the lead and helping me stretch more because I'm always very stiff. And that started great, but you haven't been consistent the last few days stretching with me.
What do you want me to do?
Lead the charge. You know I don't like stretching. I told you I want to get more flexible.
So you want me to say, come on, babe, it's time to stretch?
Yeah.
So what about when you just see me stretching? Why did I just
I haven't seen you stretch the last 2 days, but I mean, maybe I missed something.
You saw me stretching this morning.
I don't think I did. But outside of that, good week. Labor Day was like, we'll talk about that later. How about you?
My week was okay.
Just okay. How was your eating?
I don't know what I'm gonna do with food. I'm just like in a love-hate relationship with food. I'm like eating to survive right now. And it's like nothing is good. Every time you turn on the TV or go on social media, you see an article. They're talking about the food not being real, fake fish, fake butter, radioactive oatmeal, and also Kellogg's have cereal, which will.
So this is our first thought now. Okay, go ahead.
So Kellogg's cereal company have talked about taking out all of the synthetic products and preservatives that's in their cereal. They're going to take it out by the end of 2027. So until then, you will have those ingredients in your cereal. So, just the stuff that they're feeding to kids, at a very young age, it's just like, it's evil.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's funny because when we was growing up, we was eating things like Lord Debbie's, Crimplets, peanut chews, all the penny candies. And I guess when they figured out how to really monetize these things by giving it more shelf life, the treats and snacks that we ate are not the same for our kids today, even though it's the same companies. And I know when we were younger, like in inner cities, based on the paint, there were a lot of people dealing with like eating lead. So you had a lot of people that were getting suits from that, like, lead paint. And then more so recently, we're hearing more about kids with ADHD and other ailments, which basically they're being controlled by the food. Food is almost addictive now for kids.
Yeah, when you have chemicals like this, it changes the DNA, So when you talk about ADHD, a lot of times they say, hey, let's target the diet before we get into medication. So go to a gluten-free diet, take synthetics out of your child's diet. So it's a lot of things dealing with food that can cause a chemical imbalance that the public really don't talk a lot about. You really have to do your research and do your digging. But it's very alarming because when we were coming up, it was a big push for cereal. You were born in the end of the 70s. I was born in 1980. Before that, we used to have breakfast.
Right.
Bacon, eggs, pancakes, the whole shebang. It was a big push for cereal. It's easy, it's quick. You have, one parent households now. This is easy, and also it's added fiber. Your kid is going to get fiber. Milk does a body good. All of this stuff, marketing was push down our throats.
Right.
When we were coming up, where it was supposed to be a good alternative as well as a time saver for parents, then after that, we had the push for the Pop-Tarts, the push for the toaster strudels, and then you had the frozen French toast sticks. And before you know it, it's just like less cooking, more process, more chemicals, more shelf life.
Yeah.
And it's horrible because my family is from the South. I watch my family, eat Spam and cook with lard.
Spam. Like,
Yeah.
man, they still sell Spam?
Yeah, they do. I seen a Spam commercial the other day. But
not a Spam commercial.
They lived a long life. My grandmother passed away when she was 99. She was still chewing tobacco and drinking E&J, but now everybody is diagnosed with some type of cancer. They're not living as long, and they don't want you to live that long. They don't want to pay out, Social Security and things like that. So everything is coming together as they plan, and it's very wicked and evil to go back to Kellogg saying, hey, by the end of 2027, we're going to stop, doing this. And this is kids.
Yeah. And it make you think about like the school system and education as well, because I didn't get into health until we got married. When you started like educating me on the things that you learned. I was an athlete, but I was just an athlete from being active. A lot of athletes like LeBron control and sustain performance by diet. And you look at what they teach kids in school, and health should be at the top of that list. Like talking to one of my childhood friends, maybe 5-6 years ago, we were talking. Pop-Tarts was our thing. It was like his family ate strudels, we ate Pop-Tarts. But in my eyes, I thought my family was living high on the hog. I didn't know that a Pop-Tart was really like a fake pastry. And then you look on the back of your food, and that's something I hope everybody is doing now, because again, I wasn't doing that until you started that whole initiative during 17. You just did that deep dive. And when you see like, it's almost like the cancer startup kit in these foods. Like red 40, yellow 6, blue 5.
Yeah, red 40, yellow 5.
It's in Pop-Tarts. You'll see it in some chips. It's in the Lord Debbie's, like all of those chemicals. And they're showing us, but how many people do you see in the market pick something up and read the back? You see more people doing it now.
Yeah, you see more people.
But for the most part, you pick up the things that you've always had in your family. My mom and dad bought Pop-Tarts. I'm getting Pop-Tarts. My mom and dad bought Steakums. I'm getting Steakums. My mom and dad got Hawaiian Punch. We love Hawaiian Punch. My mom and dad got ginger ale, which we found out a year ago doesn't have real ginger in it.
Yo, Hawaiian Punch.
What?
Hawaiian Punch was crazy.
Man.
Yo, I love Hawaiian Punch. Murray's,
Yeah, and I get on our kids now, because the Negroes will go through a thing of juice in a day, but Hawaiian Punch was one of them ones. Like if you had a glass of ice like this, you could pour that Hawaiian Punch until it was gone. It was so good.
Yes.
So I say all that to say, we need to be educated more, especially in our communities, on how food impacts us. So Labor Day, this had to be our worst Labor Day ever. And the crazy part is that the food was delicious that you prepared. But I ate, what did I eat? Did I have a vegan hamburger that day?
You had a vegan hamburger, vegan chicken wings.
But I didn't eat that, right? And I had potato salad. You made vegetable pasta salad for me. And string beans. So I had...
And a vegan hot dog.
Right. I think that's what I ate. I didn't eat the burger. So I ate half. Yeah, you had the burger. I ate half of my vegan hot dog.
Okay.
I had a fork full of beans, 2 forkfuls of string beans, and I was miserable. You had a quarter of a burger. I don't know what size you had. But I mean, your plate was like, you put it to the side and it was still like full. You like it was full.
Yeah, we were so full off of that little bit. But here's the thing, you're a vegan. I dibble and dabble in veganism sometimes, but I don't eat meat. I'm a pescatarian. So sometimes we do get caught up and we just want like that burger feeling.
Absolutely.
So we'll eat a vegan burger, which is basically processed. It's made in the lab. It's not natural. Now, back in the day, you used to make us vegan burgers, with the chickpeas, the black beans, and all of that, and which was delicious. But again, as Americans, sometimes you're just so pressed for time and, what's the quickest. And, the vegan burger didn't settle right with us. It just had us bloated. I don't know if it's because we haven't had it in so long, but it was horrible.
It was all the food. And I think like cultural impressions is like, oh, we got the itis, ate too much. Well, we didn't eat a lot, but we know from our journey, my long journey of losing weight, getting my health together, coming off high blood pressure medicine, your journey of just continuing to maintain, we've learned that like when organic food was really organic, food is supposed to give us energy. It's not supposed to bring us down.
Weigh you down, put you out.
That is a sign that your body is telling you, I don't agree with this. And that is where the chemicals come in. That Kellogg's is telling us what, in 27, it's 25. Thank you, Kellogg's. Yes. After all these years, you're going to remove the chemicals to shorten lives from our food that we're buying from you. Thank you.
And these chemicals are banned in other countries, so.
And that goes to another point. So when we go out the country, when we used to do all-inclusive trips, man, we would eat, right? Because normally at home, we'll eat 2 meals a day and like a protein shake, a fruit shake, whatever.
Right.
Away is like you're hungrier. So we'll eat breakfast, we'll have lunch, we'll have dinner, we'll have desserts, and then we'll have some libations. Come home, we came back from Jamaica, we weighed less.
Yeah, we lost weight.
We came back from Antigua, right? Lost weight. How are we losing? And it's the same ingredients. It's the same products in other countries, but different ingredients. So, the more we educate ourselves, because you do hear a lot of people talking about Dr. Sebi, what's the other guy named Bobby? Dr. Bobby, I think. Yeah, Dr. Bobby. It's just important to understand there's so many things from our culture we feel like is normal. Like, oh, you eat food and you should be sluggish. Like, nah, you shouldn't be. Right? So you're either overeating or you're eating things that your body is saying, this is not organic for me. This is not organic food, but it doesn't mesh well with your body. And that's what we got to pay attention to. So I think both of us, we said for Labor Day, like that's the last time we eating veggie beans, just the cookout food that we're used to having.
It just didn't hit.
Yeah,
it just didn't hit. It was just too heavy. It wasn't right. It just didn't. We were just so bloated. We couldn't move.
And we ate a half of a meal. And
we had to go out. We went out and
you took a nap.
Yeah, but I still felt bloated when I woke up. We had to go bike ride.
Right.
It was just like we were just trying to get rid of that feeling. It was just,
and it was still a short bike ride, just because of the being lethargic. So. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, but we are definitely being impacted by the food that we're eating. And one of my sisters had in their email signature years ago, I never forget, it said, somewhere healthy people are dying of nothing. And it makes me think of that now, because it doesn't matter if you're eating red meat, chicken, vegan, or pescatarian. They are chemicalizing all of these foods.
Yeah, all of these different. Everything is in the mix right now.
Everything is in the mix. So you really have to be, like, you shouldn't have to think to eat. You shouldn't have to be strategic in eating. And if you really care about your health, you're doing that. You're doing that. And even with our lifestyle of being active in the gym most days out the week, that's almost mandatory to maintain what you have.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about. A lot of times is maintaining, because when you have a busy lifestyle, it's hard to go to the local farmers, and sometimes with Whole Foods and Sprouts it could get a little expensive. And also they're saying with Whole Foods and Sprouts as well, how can they guarantee that the food is really organic? Where you have this huge land, being sprayed with pesticide flows, the wind blows. How can you ensure that it's not impacting the other
you can't
organic plants and stuff like that? So you just have to question everything right now. And like the FDA don't mean anything. They're brought and paid for.
Yeah, and truthfully, I don't trust the organic stores, because you remember when I did that cauliflower project that I bought from one of the organic, I think it was Mom's. I had that cauliflower in the refrigerator. It had to be at least 5 months, and it was still good. How is that organic? So you're paying a premium for things that you think that you're putting in your body that's better. But you really just, it's really like panhandling. Like this man selling you a chain. Yeah, this is real. Okay, all right, cool. And I mean, you're going with it. So,
but it used to be organic, but it was a shift.
It was a shift,
because you had organic that was, a higher price point, of course, but you really could taste the difference. You can taste the difference with the onions, with the green peppers, with the fruit. And it was like a shift. Like when that Beyond Burger came out, it was a big boom. And then you have these higher companies, like Tyson's and Purdue. They started buying these vegan companies.
Right.
And it was a shift. So was that like 2019?
So no, 17.
It was 17?
Is when 17 is when we went to Punta Cana, and after that we said we're done with the meat because how we were feeling.
Yeah, but it was a good vegan time.
Yeah, because after that is when you started going in on the organic vegetables and whatnot. So we knew that because we weren't using any salt for any of our dishes. Like the vegetables was providing the flavor. But you're probably right. It probably was around 1920 when the shift occurred, because we don't use a lot of salt, but we began using more salt to flavor when the vegetables really should be doing that.
Yeah, we didn't have to use none of that. It was just we was using the vegetables for the season.
Right? But like you said, the big companies, they realized they're losing out, because it was a big vegan boom where people like, okay, I want to eat better. Oh, this tastes like meat. Well, why would I eat the real thing? So once they got involved, that's when they began changing the ingredients. And it's unfortunate because some people live on a fixed income where they have to get what they can afford. Were we talking about it, or did I see that on the internet about it used to be a difference in buying snacks? Things are so high that like people that were snacking more are now buying more beef or ground beef or something, because
so it was an article that was saying that the price of snacks has increased
significantly.
Whereas though before snacks was cheap.
Okay, so let me hit that part. So for the people, I want because I don't want to lose my thought. Okay. You help remind me. So the people that are eating those snacks because that's what they can afford, we only can imagine what's in it, as far as the ingredients. And that's the unfortunate part, because it's too much thought right now into eating. You get what I'm saying? It's just too much thought.
Yeah, but it's a even playing field now, because it doesn't matter if you can afford salmon. You're still being impacted by something that is chemically changed.
Right.
Like lab grown salmon is happening now. They've been doing that with chicken, so everybody is being impacted.
Everybody.
Whereas though before, they used to the gaze of, poor people. But really, if you're not wealthy, if you're not in that 1%, you're really going to be impacted. So many people now are being impacted by food. You have all these documentaries where so you have a lot of white women that are taking the initiative to go after lobbyists in DC to stop what they're doing with the food. It's impacting so many people. Also, it's an article about the increase of ADHD with white males, so it's just like, of course, when their community is impacted, more of a spotlight is going to be, put upon these things. But, our community have been going through this for years, food deserts and, what they're putting in these foods and everything like that. So it's very scary and alarming because that's where they're hitting us. Because also another article we was talking about was with the alcohol. Alcohol has decreased. So if people are not drinking alcohol, we can't really hit them with the poison right there. So we got to poison the food. What's your thoughts on that?
That's a good point because, like, in certain states, you have the big companies like Coors and Bush that are going to legislation to ban cannabis. People have caught on. Alcohol has always been far more dangerous than
everything.
Cannabis. Yeah, everything really. So now you got these big players that are saying, okay, so now everybody is on to cannabis now, which is shown to have some health benefits for different ailments or whatever, and they're losing money. They're losing money because this generation, I don't know what generation this is, generation, I don't know what they call it, but they have studies showing that they're not drinking as much as like our generation was when we were going to college and things like that. So these kids are vaping, these kids are smoking cannabis, they're taking edibles, things of that sort. So at the end of the day, the bottom line is the bottom line. That's it. It's that simple. And I'll say this just to go back to the food part. Something my buddy Rob used to always say, he's always been able to maintain his physique, is that you eat to live, you don't live to eat. And I think that's where a lot of us, I know for me, you grow up, you had parents, grandparents telling you to clean your plate, something's so good, you want to eat more. But these are the times where we really got to try our best to recalibrate and adjust to what's going on. And right now is not a great time for food. I mean, you could dress it up, you could sauce it up, you can add all these different things to it to make it savory. But at the end of the day, it's the food is killing us.
Yeah, and something else too, this administration. So Trump has made it public that he is sending a National Guard to Baltimore and to Chicago. So we are Baltimore natives. I know Baltimore crime rate currently is at historic lows.
Great job to the mayor. Shout out Brandon Scott.
Yeah, so the crime rate is low. Why are you doing this?
It's political. I mean, we are leaning more and more towards an authoritarian government. And it's a lot going on. You got these high-level celebrities, black celebrities that are being attacked, right? You don't have as many young men going to jail due to cannabis laws, right?
People getting released.
Then politicians that are in the space and of the mindset to make changes in their community, they're finding things such as mortgage fraud to jam them up for federal charges. You may purchase a home as a primary residence. 3 or 4 months later, you decide to rent it out. At that time of the application, you didn't lie. So these people are getting caught up. So right now, it feels like it's a squeeze on continuing to make African Americans uncomfortable in this country. And right now is not the time to be breaking crimes. It's not the time to be treading the fence on the good life. I mean, the illegal life and the legal life, this is not the time for that. But to bring the National Guard into Baltimore, where Mayor Brandon Scott has done a remarkable job of putting policies in place and bringing down the crime, I think it's at a historic low. It's going to make a very combustible environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very combustible.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because at the end of the day, it's nothing he can do because the federal government is the big joker.
And lives are going to be lost, because you are going to have some people from other generations that's just not for it. They've already been through so much. It's people that feel like I've been working hard 20 years and I'm trying to get a win and I can't get a win. And now you're here. It's not for the right reasons. And, when you look at federal and state, the state should have the power to basically have in place what they feel is needed for their jurisdiction. And that's it. Now, if government wants to come in for assistance based on that governor, that mayor's plan for reinforcement, bravo. But the governor and the mayor saying, hey, we don't want this, and we're still bringing in those troops, we got to wake up. They're not trying to do anything to make us comfortable. They're not trying to do anything to further us. And they're not trying to do anything that's going to put us in a place where we can stop dealing with our, people like to say post-traumatic stress, but I like to say present traumatic stress. Like black man, black woman, you're riding in the car with your music loud, the police pull up, the first thing you're doing, you're pulling it down. You got trauma from that. You know how that can turn out. You get pulled over, it leads to this. There's just so many things we have to think about on a daily basis. We have to be very intentional in how we live our lives, especially now. So my message would be to those people that have found a career in scamming, found a career in selling drugs, found a career in doing any other thing that's illegal. This is not the time. And yes, at the top of these companies, you have people that don't look like us breaking laws as well, but we're not them. So there's not going to be any grace. There's not going to be any mercy. Right now, you have to, I'm not telling anybody to jeopardize who they are as a person, but you also got to look at the bigger picture and play the game until we overcome this phase that we're in, because it's not going to be forever, but they are laying the foundation, hoping that these things that are in place will impact us for a very long time.
Yeah, it's very very sad, but this country is built on doing things like this. I mean, history is going to keep repeating itself. This has been done before, to people.
So, I mean, how do you think it's going to, like, Chicago and Baltimore? Like, how do you think this is going to turn out? You're a historian. You watch the news. How do you think this is going to turn? This time next year, what will we be saying about the National Guard being in Baltimore and in Chicago?
We're going to say that it caused the both cities to change even more. Both cities have a lot of gentrification. Okay. People talk bad about Chicago. Chicago is a beautiful city. A lot to do there. Beautiful buildings, architect. It's high real estate. It's Chicago is a big player. Baltimore is a big player too. Keep in mind we got the port. That's major. Baltimore is major. So when you have cities that's major, maybe predominantly black, historically, black or whatever like that, but it's on prime real estate, they want it.
Right.
They want it. And they're going to use tactics to get what they want. Just like they use the term eminent domain, and it'll give them the right to take somebody home and build a highway. So whatever they want, they will find a legal way to get it. And Baltimore is prime time. Chicago prime time. New Orleans is prime time. So a lot of these cities, they want it. And I just think a year from now, it's going to be Baltimore going to look totally different. It's already going through the process of looking different. It's no reason for Trump to come to Baltimore when Baltimore crime rates are down. It's no reason.
Yeah. And I would challenge everyone to start traveling with a purpose. And what I mean by it's all glitz and glamour, IG, you in Cabo, you in Jamaica, you in Denmark. I know a lot of people have been traveling in Denmark. But it's time to start traveling to countries that you are considering or you would consider living. I called my mother today because we were talking last week, and she said, I can't believe you moved to a red state. And I explained to her, I said, Ma, the whole country's red. This whole Republican, Democrat, red state, blue state, it's a ploy. It's just another way to divide. They're all, for the most part, in cahoots with each other. So the flex right now is traveling to countries you are considering living, to be an expat, and on Facebook, they have groups for countries, different countries of people that have moved from the US to these countries to ask questions, to find out, how do I get my Amazon? How do I get deliveries? What's the price of housing? Pricing of groceries, things you'll have to do for your pet to travel through. It's a list of things if you have pets that you have to go through before going to another country. So it's time to start looking at those things, because they're showing us they don't want us here. And it doesn't make us cowardly. It doesn't make us weak. It actually makes us wise, because in other countries, they are more so where citizens aren't paying for healthcare, like Antigua for one. They invest in their citizens because they feel like the better health that their citizens are in, the longer they will help maintain the country. That's wise to me. That's pretty dope. So you want to invest in my health so I can be a contributor to keeping our country the way it is.
Right.
It's time. It's time. Don't go where you tolerate it. Go where you appreciate it. That's real. That's real.
I hear you.
I'm saying, are you going to keep going to a friend's house that every time you come over, you there for 30 minutes, she start cleaning up, she spraying the Lysol on the counter,
That's how
turning
it
the
used
lights?
to be.
I did used to be like that. But but I'm saying you're not going to keep going somewhere where you feel like they're just tolerating you. And it's like we were brought here, yet we are stereotyped as to why the problems are what they are, et cetera. So it's time to start looking at other things, stepping outside the box, breaking some generational curses. Mm-hmm. Your family never moved out the state. No, not you. I'm just saying a lot of us though. I was one of those people. I was like, I never move out of Baltimore, you know. But as you get wiser and you see more things, you know, you start to educate yourself and see that look, I can live a life here like I live a life here. But it takes being intentional, it takes some strategy, etc. What was you want to say? I'm sorry.
It's okay, King.
Stop.
If you don't do nothing else, you gonna be like, hold up, stop.
Because you know, in my wiser age, I get forgetful. So
don't we all?
I don't think you're that forgetful. I've been more, yeah. The last
you don't think I'm forgetful?
I don't. I have gotten very forgetful the last 2 years. Probably because I'm always talking about was it Mildred? Whatever.
Yes.
So I need to stop, but yeah, I'm forgetful. It happens.
Okay. So handsome. Okay, well that's all I had for today's topic. So we talked about some heavy stuff today. You know, the government, things that's changing, and it's like, you know, during the President Obama administration, you know, his slogan was what? Hope and change or something like that. And America is built on symbolism, it's built on hope, and that knowing that, hey, in America you can make it, in America you can do it, in America, you know, you can be successful, you can pull yourself up from the bootstraps and live a great life. But when you see everything that you've been taught is being debunked, it's being thrown out, it's like it was all an illusion. Take us home, give us some motivation.
You know, for the official thought, I think you said it. Now is the time we just have to be more vigilant. We have to be more intentional. And we got to get uncomfortable and break a lot of ways that we have grown to think is the way. So, you know, some of us get older, we become less material. Some of us get older, we read more. Some of us get older and we channel those things that our elders have told us. But right now, I want to encourage everyone as we see our world changing, there are times that we are going to have to change as well. There are times that we are going to have to reconsider things that we thought we would never do, not only for us, but for the people that's behind us. So if that means changing your location, changing your way of thinking, changing your diet, changing how you spend, it's worth it. It's worth it. This life to live, you know, we want to leave our footprints here for the people that is behind us, like the people that were before us. So I continue to challenge everyone to take every day like an opportunity to be better. Sometimes we can't look all the way down the road. We just have to look at how can I master today. So until next week, keep dreaming, because when you stop dreaming, you stop growing.
Be safe and be blessed. We'll see you next week.